Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We can see you filling into our room here as we get started. So we are super excited to have you here today. I'm joined by my fabulous team and colleagues on the call. And we'll get into introductions in a second. The ladies will introduce themselves, but a big welcome from us here at TikTok. And we're really excited to get things started today. So this is workshop one, and workshop one of two. There is a third session which we will tell you about, but two primary big sessions which we're super excited to have you on for. Today is the first one, and ultimately it's all about how each and every single one of you can start on TikTok if you haven't already, and then ultimately to really help how you're going to create on TikTok, which we know is a really big thing for small businesses like yourselves. So to really kick things off with introductions, I am Katie McElroy. Some of you may have met me at the awards night or Ideas Fest, or we had a webinar in July. And I know some of you are kind of joining us again. So it is fantastic to see you again. And my role here at TikTok is a partnership manager focusing on the UK, ultimately talking to small, medium businesses like yourselves day in and day out to help them get onto the platform. And I am joined by Sarah, who's going to introduce herself as well.
Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Sarah and I work on the high potential new business team here at TikTok. So essentially what our team does is we help with strategy creation and onboarding new brands onto the platform. So helping with, your first ad campaign and why you should be on TikTok. And I'll hand you over to Louisa.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi guys, I'm Louisa. I've met some of you before, but for those who haven't met me, hello. And I'm the community engagement specialist here at TikTok. So very similar to Katie, I have the absolute pleasure of engaging with the community and talking to you guys, getting to know you and your businesses, and helping you get started on TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a jam-packed agenda, and the three of us have an awful lot of information that we want to share with you. So we're really excited to kick things off. A couple of housekeeping rules. Use the chat and the Q&A as much as you want. We're more than happy to answer your questions while we're here, and engage with the girls, whoever which one of us isn't speaking. We'll be happy to get back to you on any questions or concerns that you might have. And apart from that, we will just kick things off. Yeah, as I said, any questions asked throughout, we are going to have questions, room for questions if we want. But please don't hesitate to reach out, even introduce yourselves, share your TikTok handle so we can check you out and everyone else can check you out on TikTok afterwards. But ultimately, we wanted to kick things off and say this really is the start of something special, or the continuation of something that's been quite special since TikTok partnered with Fran and her team at the Great British Entrepreneurs, and everything that that is associated with Fran and those brands. And it's ultimately to partner together to really celebrate the entrepreneurship that I know that is there and present, and ultimately how we can support you in your business journey. A couple of pictures from where you might have seen us before, but we're really looking forward to kind of bring the partnership and bring this to the community to ultimately help you get started on TikTok. So we really wanted to kick it back to basics, right? And just as I said, this is the start of something special. The TikTok Bootcamp is something that we've never done before. So we're really excited to be talking to you guys in a lot more in-depth, like a cozy environment. Of course, we'd love to be doing it in person, but we can always look to do that in a couple of months. And we really wanted to align on what our combined goals here are, right? So the Great British Entrepreneurs, it's all about entrepreneurship. It's all about the men and women and on this call, and the journeys that you're going through on your business journey. And ultimately, we at TikTok want to be a part of that. It's inspiring creativity and bringing joy, but ultimately supporting small, medium businesses, entrepreneurs, in the UK community to really help get your business to the next level. So to give you a bit of a program overview, I know you've signed up and we're delighted to have you here, and the excitement and the engagement has been brilliant already. But just to kind of tell you what we're going to be covering. So we have the Start and Create with TikTok today. There's going to be lots of exciting things covered. There's going to be some homework, spoiler alert, but it's a really great activity to kind of help get your head in the game from a TikTok perspective. And on Friday, it's not shown here, but we're going to detail on it. Louise is going to lead, or I'm going to lead on the Q&A with Sarah. on Friday. So we're going to gather any of the really, really big questions that you have and touch on those in a lot more detail. And then ultimately, the three of us are all back next Wednesday, 2 p.m. And we're going to be talking about, in particular, growth and performance on the platform and results, right? Because we know everyone wants results. And Sarah is our absolute expert here. So she's really going to be leading the charge on this one. And Louisa and I are going to be also soaking up all of Sarah's expert knowledge on how businesses can ultimately get started. So what we want you to learn as part of the whole program is either get your business on TikTok first and foremost, or boost your presence in what you already have, and apply the best practices. So we know so much and we want to be able to share that with you. And you guys will also have so much to be able to share with each other. And I know this is what this whole community and the forum and the group is all about, is ultimately that one of you might learn something and you can share it with another, and you can really use the group to do that, and really touching on that community element. And then ultimately we want you guys to just completely, I think the title of this was Get Set and Ready for Takeoff. We want your business to completely take off, and be bringing in lots and lots of sales in the next few months. And that's what this program is going to be able to let you do. So what's coming up today? Bit of a program overview. We're going to talk about the power of community, TikTok ads 101, which Sarah is going to bring you through, and then ultimately talk through the homework and how to use the community guide. And there is a bit of an ad credit incentive, which we can touch on later as well. And Louisa, or I am going to be subbing in for Louisa on Friday. So we have a live Q&A. So we're normally bombarded with questions in this because everyone is just dying to chat to us, which is amazing. So we want to really, really give you the time to say, you need help on a particular topic or subject or whatever it is. And myself and Sarah will be there to help you through that. So please bring any of your questions through it. We are going to be providing a little bit of an activity today, so you can kind of bring that with you on Friday as well, and any help that you might need. Then next week, particularly Sarah and I will be taking the lead on the performance and growth. So really, really just how does the ads platform actually work? And then Sarah's insider tips about what's the best thing that you can be doing with your business. So a really, really robust program that we have designed specifically for this group, knowing the different verticals we have. I know there's a lot of food and drink, a couple of agencies, and lots of e-commerce and retailers, which we see a lot of as well. So we've really tailored the content and the package that we're presenting to make sure that we're answering all of the questions that we think you might have, and more. So without further ado, I'm going to kind of really, really kick things off now with the content. So if there's any major questions today, Louisa and Sarah will be able to connect with you, and then I'll be jumping into the chat after I'm finished talking. But please keep the questions coming. So I suppose why TikTok, right? I was at an event yesterday and I was thinking, I've been kind of asked this question now for nearly 3 years. Why TikTok? And you guys already know why TikTok because you've registered and signed up for this program. So I'm really preaching to the choir here, but from our perspective, it's to go a little bit further than that. So why TikTok for your business, and why, TikTok for users in the UK? So we wanted to really strip things back to basics, right? The one thing that I want you all to remember is that TikTok is first and foremost an entertainment platform. If any of you are on TikTok, great. If any of you are just getting started, and this is just from using the app on your phone perspective, think about what it is that you're doing on there. You're arriving, at the app. Maybe you're on the bus home, the train home. I don't know if you're sitting in an airport or you're just sitting at home with a cup of tea. And you're sitting down to watch TikTok, not to check what your friends are up to or your colleagues have been up to. It's really up to entertainment. And that's where your business is going to live, within this entertainment sphere. So really, really think about it in a different way. You watch TikTok, you don't check TikTok. And so that's where your brand and business and all of the sales that you're going to be doing within that is living within an entertainment platform. So because we're an entertainment platform, ultimately we're powered by the community, right? So the community is super, super important. This is a really small community that we've gathered here as part of this boot camp that will be a part of a larger community that is the Great British Entrepreneurship group. And that's what's really, really important here. You guys are already familiar with the power of the community. So just imagine that on a much bigger scale with TikTok. So that's where you're able to think about building a new community of your either existing or new customers, and really tapping into that in a way that you would never have done before. So I'm going to really touch on that power of community because we think it's really, really important, right? And you as a business, whether you call it that or not, your existing user base, your existing customers, or the people that always like your posts on other platforms, they are your community. And what we really, really want you to think about today is building your presence for them on that community. What is it that they want? Help them, let them drive that. And that'll also feed into your sales and conversions and whatever it is that you're focused on. So it can really, really drive your business. And we have some really great stats, which we can share another time on this, but it's really, really to hit home that you can really tap into this community to sell your products, to use your community to sell your products beyond, share your posts, make TikToks, use the hashtags, whatever it is that you want them to do. So here's the really, really nice stats that I was on about. So community, so where people come to care and share. So over 70% say that TikTok has helped them discover new products, right? So discoverability is one way I want you to think about it. So we've got our entertainment platform that's going to be really, really great for discovery is one of the big things. So finding new things, TikTok made me buy it. If anyone's heard of that, I think we'll touch on that later in the presentation. That discoverability element. Finding a business or a brand or a product that you've never seen or heard of before on TikTok. And that is what we're really amazing for. But what this is coupled by is the shop, right? The conversions, because we know that that's very, very important for business. I mean, that's your survival, particularly in tough economic times. And it's really how can we really make money? How can we, continue to support our businesses and our employees? And that's where this TikTok community loves to shop. So the community is very strong for discovery, but there's also that conversion element in it there. So there's a statistic around 50% of those that have discovered a product from an SMB on TikTok have actually gone on to buy it. And that is actually across all generations. So we have Gen Z, Millennial, and then Gen X plus, which is just anything over millennial. It's a new term for me, might be new for other people as well. But that element of shopping and conversion is super important also. The hashtag here on the right, please let us know if you've bought anything because of TikTok. I know Louisa is smiling. Can't remember, Louisa, what have you bought as of TikTok?
I actually, and this is something that's trending, I have it right here, the Sol de Janeiro spray, the body spray, that's trending. So there you go, TikTok made me buy it.
And that's the nice cream with like the yellow, it's a yellow tub, isn't it?
It's
like the original product, I think.
It's the same brand. I think that's like the Bum Bum cream, I think it's called, but that's like the vanilla spray.
Yeah.
I'm weak.
Yeah, I know. I keep seeing that as well. So like, and everyone on the call, I'm sure you'll probably have something that it is that you're seeing that's like, it's either piqued your curiosity enough to go in and have a look in the shop for it, or you've just gone, I'm going to just buy this, like put it into my basket and I'm going to buy it right away. So the community really loves to shop, and you can see this hashtag TikTok made me buy it. So definitely use it in your own TikToks. If Louisa makes a TikTok of the spray, she'll definitely use it, or use it under your brand posts as well if you think it's a product that people are going to be made to buy after seeing your posts and ads. So to talk about TikTok in the United Kingdom, right? Because we know you want this to be relatable. You all operate in the UK. I'm sure some of you operate even outside of the UK, but to really, really talk about the UK in particular, around 70% of users are saying that they feel a deeper connection with brands that they find on TikTok than those that they do not, that they see on other platforms. So that means your business is on TikTok, people feel like they have a much deeper connection to you. So I suppose it's probably natural, right? If you're posting a lot of behind the scenes content, your founder story. If anyone has heard of Lizzie from Only Girls, I think she swooped up a lot of the awards. She definitely won her and Hugo at the Great British Entrepreneurship Awards in November. I believe she just got another award for the female, butchering the name of the awards, but I know she's definitely won a couple of awards within this community. And they really, really talk about the benefit of using, TikTok to have that deeper connection. And it's ultimately a big reason of how they've been able to grow to the size that they are today. So it's a lot closer connection that you have. And Lizzie does a lot of sharing her story, which is amazing. You should go and check them out. It's at Only Curls London, and how they kind of build that connection, right? Because people buy from people and people are sold into people. So it's really, really important to look at as well. So in other ones, again, that discoverability element comes up a lot. And then this whole convincing people to either buy a product themselves or they convince others to buy it as a result of that. So a really, really whistle-stop tour about why TikTok, you know, the importance of community, which I know to this group will be particularly relevant. But ultimately what we know most of you are here for, because this is what always gets people to sign up and want to see us, is creative. So I'm going to hand it over to Louisa, who'll be taking it from here.
Thanks, Katie. Yeah, definitely. So as Katie said, like creatives is definitely the number one question we get asked, and absolutely understandable. You know, you think like, how do I make a really aesthetically pleasing TikTok-esque, TikTok-y video? But that will ultimately lead to revenue and sales, which is what we're here for. So let's first have a look. I think there's a little nice quote, the next slide. So yeah, oh, sorry, whack one. So as Katie mentioned, you know, TikTok is absolutely an entertainment platform, and it's so unlike other social media out there. And I think definitely something that stands out for me is, you know, you go onto other social media and you see so-and-so is in Australia living their best life. So another person's in California on holiday, and you kind of come away thinking, I'm stuck in rainy Dublin. Why am I not on holiday or living abroad? You don't have a feeling coming away from TikTok. You come away, you learned a new recipe, you learned a new trick on how to do heatless curls. You come away always entertained and you learn something. And I think that's a really, really good thing about TikTok. And you don't find that anywhere else on the internet. And also a really good thing is the For You page knows you better than maybe you know yourself. Sometimes you're like, oh, what do I want to look at? The For You page knows, and you just keep scrolling and scrolling. In my case, it could be for hours. So to kick off creative tips and tricks, I have compiled here 6 tips for making really effective, engaging content. So this would be how to shoot your videos. So I'll go through them one by one. So you see the first one, say it. Sorry, I have my earrings. I hope it's not like blocking my microphone. It's okay. Okay, perfect. So the first tip is to say it directly. So you're here to sell a product. You know, if a customer were to walk into your store, you wouldn't be talking at them looking that way. You'd be talking directly at them. So break that fourth wall, break that barrier between you and your phone, and talk to your customer directly and sell your product to them. And then the second tip we have is to see it fast. So although TikTok is a really, really good platform, that's a short-term video platform, and you can see puns aggressively scrolling, it can be, you know, how do I get my product out there so quickly? So we'd always recommend to show your product really quickly in the first few seconds of the video to really get your audience's attention. And I'll go into how exactly to do that in a few slides time. And then the third tip we have is to show it off. So I guess to avoid what I ordered versus what I got situation, just absolutely show your product and show what it does, how it works, and if the customer were to order your product today, what would they see? So just absolutely show off your product. The fourth tip we have is to shoot it simply. And this is something that I think is really appealing nowadays. Like, the beautiful thing about TikTok is people don't want to see like really sexy edited photo shoot kind of style videos. They just want to see really simply shown on your phone, what does this product do? How does it work? If I were to order, what would it look like? And it doesn't have to be dressy. It doesn't have to be really fancy. It's just literally shown on your phone, super authentic, because here at TikTok, we're all about authenticity. And then to sub it. So definitely use captions and subtitles in your videos. It kind of taps into that TikTok-esque noun that I've just coined. And I think it also kind of allows for extra accessibility so that, you know, all users can benefit from seeing your ads. And then the last tip we have is to send it off. So have a really clear call to action at the end of your video. After your ad, what do you want your customer to do? So definitely make sure to include that in your video. So as I mentioned, just in the second tip there, to show it off quickly. So we'd always say to include a hook in your ads. So a hook, what do we mean by that? We mean literally hook your audience in and grab their attention for the first few minutes, and then they can go in. You can talk more about your brand and your brand values in the rest of the video. But let's talk a little bit about the hook, because that is the most important part of a TikTok video. So as I mentioned, hooks are super, super important. And as we can see here, TikTok supports many time frames of 15 seconds, 60 seconds, and 3 minutes. And I believe it's at 10, I believe 10 minutes as well. And while these formats are super successful, oh, sorry, go back one, there you go. While these formats are all super successful, the most vital part of any TikTok video is the first 6 seconds, but Sarah, I'll probably even say like 2. The first 2 to 6 seconds are absolutely vital. So past this point, once you have your audience's attention, you can then heavily introduce product and branding. But it's super important to realize that the high amounts of brand impact happen in the second and 6 seconds. It really may not seem like a lot of time at all, but it's enough that 90% of ad recall and 80% of awareness impact happens in the first 6 seconds. And that's a thing with TikTok. People are scrolling so quickly. You're like, how do I get my brand? How do I get like a stop to stop the thumb from scrolling? So the next slide, I think it's very easy to show things in an example. So I think the next slide, we're seeing an example of an entire duration of a TikTok, and we can kind of map out when to have your hook and your USPs and all that. So as I mentioned, the first 2 seconds are super important. So that is where you get your hook. So it's proven that, you know, with advertising, if you tap into the emotional part of people, that kind of will convince them maybe more than just telling you, buy my product. Why should they buy the product? So the first few seconds, how I found my favorite, blah, blah, blah. One thing that's changed my life. You're like, oh, I want something to change my life too. So I'm going to keep watching this video. So what can you say to make your audience stop scrolling? What? Oh, yeah. And this is, oh, sorry. And then, and then you go into actually, what does your company do? So my company does XYZ. You have their intention, and then you go in, my company does XYZ. And then as the audience keep watching, then you can really go in and introduce your USPs. So it's the safest, blah, blah, blah. It's the most eco-friendly. What does your brand do? Because the market is so saturated nowadays. Like, what does your brand do that really sets your brand apart from the rest? And then finally, and this is probably my favorite tip of the whole slide, is really match your call to action to the hook. So find your favorite X today. So really get someone else to find their favorite, let's say, skirt today, or get their favorite something today, to really tap into, again, that emotional part of the video. Perfect. So these are just a few TikTok ideas, because again, as I said, we always get asked, like, what kind of things do I focus on, and what kind of videos do I make? I think people can kind of get so wrapped up in like wanting their videos to go viral, and like the truth is, like, we don't know what's going to go viral, so you just have to try everything and just see what sticks. So the first idea we have is a Q&A, so top FAQs. More often than not, if you have a question, someone else has the same question. So it's a really good way to, you know, make sure that your audience feel like they're heard. It really makes sure that your brand, like, you are listening to your audience and you are willing to help them by answering their questions. And you're really getting that awareness and that education out there, and it really breaks down the barrier between the customer and the brand. So I think that's a really effective one. And then the demo. So kind of like I mentioned earlier, it's really important to show off for a product and a service. What does it do? What do you do? How does it work? Really show your audience exactly, if they're to order it again today, what would they get? What would it look like? And then the third tip we have is feedback and testimonials. So as Katie mentioned before, and this is something I think is super, super important, is people buy from people. So, you know, like if you were, say, to book a hotel, if you're to even order a moisturizer, whatever it is, the first thing we do is look at reviews, because we want to see what other people think of the product, because we're also buying from people. The word of mouth is super, super important. So if someone leaves a really good feedback, absolutely well deserved, because your product is amazing, show it off and really show your audience, hey, other people really like my product, you should buy it too. Behind the scenes, if anyone here is as nosy as me, they really want to see what goes on behind the scenes. So if you were to receive an order and you're packaging up and walk into the post office to post it, what does that look like? Show us your warehouse, show us your store. And I think that really taps into that, like, authenticity. That's what we really value here at TikTok, and it really, like, breaks down a barrier between customer and brand. So definitely behind the scenes, because we all want to see your backgrounds. And then the final tip we have is a founder or business story. And as we mentioned, it kind of taps into that people buy from people, and it doesn't just go from customer to customer. It definitely goes from business owner to customer. So like, you're all entrepreneurs, you all have businesses, you all are on these amazing journeys, and customers absolutely want to hear that. We really want to hear why you started your business, because it comes from a really authentic place. And we absolutely want to hear that. So don't be shy, even if you want to say behind a camera or in front of a camera. tell people about your story and how you got to where you are today, because again, authenticity is absolutely valued here at TikTok. Okay, perfect. So organic and paid may seem quite contradictory before I go into it, but do bear with me. So one of the really great thing about TikTok is that although it's a really big platform, it can be sometimes a little bit overwhelming, you can still really engage with your community. And I think community is a word that Katie used a lot earlier. It's definitely such an important part of TikTok, being a really large community, a really niche community. You can still engage with the chat, with Q&A, you can really engage with your community. However, by also running ads on TikTok, you're also hitting all of your objectives from reach and brand awareness all the way to conversion. So we would always recommend having the organic TikTok presence along with running ads. So that way, like, you're generating a really wide reach and getting as many ads on your ads as possible, yet you're still maintaining that really organic and authentic presence that has that like familiarity with your audience. So those two really we recommend go hand in hand. Perfect. So in the last few slides, I've spoken a lot about how to make effective videos on TikTok, but the help doesn't stop from there. So I'm now going to run through some tools that you can find on the Ads Manager, and it will really help you go further in creating really fun and varied TikTok-esque videos. So first up here, we have the video template. So we'd always recommend switching up your creatives. We always recommend just having fun with your creatives. That's kind of bottom line, because once you have fun, that will really show through to your customers. And it won't be like rehearsed or really robotic. Once you're having fun, like, customers will be able to see that. So we'd always recommend mixing up the creative, so you're not always making the same content and you're not getting bored with it, you're having fun with it. So this tool is super quick and easy to use, and it's on the Ads Manager, and it saves you a lot of time. It can be used as a source of inspiration, as a source of entertainment, and you can just really play around and have fun with it. But don't take my word for it. I can talk as long as on the video template as possible, but let's have a look and see what that looks like. Okay, so imagine there is music. Perfect. That's okay. We can still see the backgrounds. You can still see the gist, the different kind of poses that they're doing. They're just having good fun with it. And as well, if we see the numbers on the side, so this brand, of course, used the Smart Video template. And as a result, they reached 2.1 million people, and they increased that all important 2-second view through rate that I was talking about earlier by 23%. So super effective results on this tool. So the TikTok Smart Video is one of my personal favorite tools, because like it does what it says in the tin. It's smart. So it allows advertisers to really quickly and accurately produce like native style TikTok-esque videos without hassle. So you can make videos using fonts, using music, or using colors, and you can upload multiple videos or pictures. And one of my favorite features is that Smart Video will like piece them together, but like with the beat of the music. So Katie, hopefully this will work with the sound of this one, but
yeah, I got the sound on the last one, but I don't think anyone else did.
oh no.
So let's see if this works.
Well, you can imagine that all those transitions are happening with the beat of the music. So that's one of my personal favorites. And again,
we'll share it tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah.
We'll get the videos back up again.
Yeah,
we'll make
absolutely.
sure you can hear the sound.
Perfect. And you know, the numbers on the side, they speak for themselves. I think it was 4 million people that one reached. Oh yeah, and 2x return on ad spend. So again, numbers speak for themselves. And then then we have the TikTok video editor. So this is an all-in-one browser-based video editor. It produces easy TikTok-esque style videos. You can quickly and again accurately produce native feeling content with TikTok elements like the music, the fonts, the colors, and so much more. And you can add subtitles, you can crop assets, you can cut scenes exactly to the moments you want. So again, just a super, super easy video editor. So you don't have to worry, you don't have to be a professional editor to work these tools. They're like, I'd never made full disclosure, I'd never made a TikTok video before starting my job at TikTok, and only when you go onto it, you're like, oh my God, this is actually so easy. And it's really fun. You can just have a bit of creativity involved in it. I've done this as a video, but you can kind of see it going to the side. And again, the numbers on the side, it's a 4x increase in conversion rate, which is what we all want. And it's minus 58.6% cost per action. So again, super, super effective results with these really, really easy tools, all available on the Ads Manager. Oh, perfect. So there is no doubt that TikTok is a super fast-paced and hectic platform to keep up with. We even feel it on the business side, like overnight, there could be a new trend, a new song, a new hashtag. And yeah, we're like, oh my God, there's a new something, we better see what that is. So we totally understand that it's very overwhelming. And we also understand that like businesses want to keep up to date with the current trends. And you're kind of like, well, where do I know where these changes are happening? Not to worry, this is where the Creative Center will come in. So perfect. So what is the Creative Center? So the Creative Center, it's a one-stop shop for creative solution. It's a creative haven for curious TikTok users. And it's definitely a space where you can search trending hashtags, trending videos, trending sounds. And you can see them from, I think it's a 7-day to 120-day period across all regions. So of course, you guys will be focusing on the UK. And you can see what's trending, like hashtags, songs, or even creators. I was on the Creative Center earlier today, just seeing things between Ireland and England, seeing kind of what was the trends, and I could see the hashtag Six Nations, I believe, was trending. So as Irish women, we're delighted, but my commiserations to the rest of you. And just the next slide, Katie. Perfect. So, and Creative Center isn't only for just kind of general hashtags and things. It's actually really insightful from an advertising point of view, as you'll be able to see what are the top trending ads. So you can analyze these ads, you can get inspiration and see what are people doing that's making them so successful, and maybe you can draw inspiration from that for your own creatives or your own ads. And having these insights, it really definitely reduces kind of the time. You don't have to sit and think or scratch your head and say, oh, like what am I going to do? Just go into Creative Center, get your inspiration, and then you can go from there. And hopefully we'll be seeing you guys on the Creative Center soon. Great, so that's all for me. So I'm going to hand it over to Sarah.
Thanks so much, Louisa. There are some great tips there. So hopefully it's a lot easier for everyone here to make videos on TikTok. We also now have an integration with CapCut. So I know there's some questions in the chat around making organic videos. So that could be a good tool there as well. So creatives are key on TikTok, but what we really want to focus on in this section is, making a holistic TikTok strategy and really, helping you build the tools to get the best possible start with ads on TikTok. So the first thing when we think about making an ad strategy is focusing what are your business goals. So I know that we have a lot of businesses from different industries here, and no two goals are the same. So Katie, if you just want to pop onto the next slide. In TikTok, we can reach users at each stage of the consumer purchasing journey and focus on every stage of the advertising funnel. So maybe your brand's goal is to get a bit more brand awareness on the platform. Maybe it's to reach a new younger audience, or it could be to actually just get straight conversions as well. So we have a solution for everyone. And I would also definitely keep an eye out on this slide and maybe put a bit of focus on it, because it could be on your homework later, which we'll mention. But just to go through a bit of the objectives here. So if you are looking to get brand awareness and reach as many users as possible, the reach objective is the one for you. So that will maximize the number of impressions and really show that ad to as many screens as possible. And so that's really with the reach objective there. Then for more consideration, so a little bit more focused on action rather than just mass awareness, we have video views. So that will be either optimizing to 2 or 6 second views. As Louisa mentioned earlier, having a hook at the start of the video is super important, especially to get people not just to watch the 2 or 6 seconds, but to watch the length of your video there. So that's kind of to build views and engagement on your content. Lead generation, this is great, especially for maybe any educational institutions or B2B businesses that might be on the call. Lead generation is a great option. So for this, we have an in-app form, which you can integrate a CRM or just download as a CSV file. You can collect maybe name and email address to contact potential leads for your business. So that's a really great option here because the user never has to leave the app. So it's really great, and especially with autofill tools on phones at the moment. Then traffic, just driving as many people as possible to your website. Traffic is the objective for you. And then community interaction. So this is actually a very unique objective and one that not many people know about. But this is in conjunction with organic profiles. So if you're looking to grow your TikTok presence and grow the number of followers on your profile, this is the objective for you. So you can optimize to either getting new followers or getting people to view your organic page from this type of ad. And then at the end, we have app and web conversion. So either driving people to download your app and take an action on your website. So we have different optimization events with conversion campaigns. So we might get them to view content of a specific product or try and optimize to add to cart and work our way down to conversions. And of course, we have TikTok Shop as well. So lots of different campaign objectives here, and one to meet every goal that your business may have. Now, Katie, if you'd like to go to the next slide. And now we'll go on to target audience. So once we've kind of decided on what our goal is, we want to kind of discuss how to reach that goal. And it's really important that we target the right users on TikTok. So Katie, if you just want to pop to the next slide. You might actually find that you're going to reach a different audience on TikTok. So initially, maybe you can start off with advertising a little bit broader than you might on other platforms. But on TikTok, we have very specific targeting availabilities. So we can target by demographics. So maybe that be gender, age, or location. But also we can go into a little bit more specific. So it might be interests and behaviors. So for example, if you are a makeup brand, we can target females age 18 to 35 in the UK, or even more specific in London, that are interested in makeup and beauty and skincare, and that interact with the hashtag beauty talk, something like that. So we can really make it specific. So to make sure that we are targeting the right users that are likely as well to take the action that we desire. If you're maybe an app client and you have a specific app that you're looking to promote, we can also refine it by device. So iOS versus Android and specific makes and models. We also have smart targeting, which is quite a new feature and has worked extremely well for us. This is where we have automatic targeting. So we put the faith in the algorithm, and Louisa mentioned earlier that sometimes the algorithm knows us a bit more than we even know ourselves. So this is the algorithm will optimize the campaigns and serve the ads to those that are most likely to take an action based on the objective that we've put in. So for example, with a conversion campaign for a makeup brand, the ad will find users based on a seed audience of those who are likely to convert and maybe go to the website, make a purchase on a beauty brand. So that's a really great way of starting off as well. Maybe if you just want to see if maybe there's a different audience on TikTok that are going to interact with your product or service. Great, so maybe if you want to pop onto the next slide here. And then we'll look at different ad formats that work for your business. So Louisa went over different creative types that we have on TikTok and ways that we can make videos. And Katie, if you just want to pop to the next slide, I can show you the two different types of creatives formats on the platform. So firstly, we have Spark ads. So Spark ads are native to TikTok. Sometimes I'm sure you've seen them already in your For You page. These are very much, ads that look like TikToks and have that really authentic and native feel. So Spark ads are taken from your profile's organic page or a creator's organic page and used as the videos for the campaigns. This is great, especially to grow your profile, because any of the views that are gathered through ads will actually be reflected then on your TikTok profile as well. So great for your organic page, and might look like one of your videos have then gone viral. Yeah, Spark ads are something that we recommend. They perform outstandingly well. And this is, really great if you do have an organic presence and you just, it's a really easy integration to use. There are differences as well between Spark ads and non-Spark ads. So with Spark ads, the user can go to your organic profile. They also have the ability to follow your organic profile as well with the touch of a button. And then they can also complete the call to action. So for example, if you're bringing them to your website. Then with non-Spark ads, this is where you upload the video file from your computer. So just to, I suppose, make you aware, you don't actually need an organic presence in order to advertise on TikTok. So maybe if you don't have the in-house capabilities or the resources just yet to start a TikTok organic presence, you can still advertise your video or your business. And we just do that by manually uploading at the ads section of our ads manager account. Of course, the difference between this, the user won't be able to go to your organic page. Rather, they will just go straight to your landing page when they click the other buttons, if that's the objective of the ad. Great, so if you just want to pop onto the next page. Now, I just wanted to highlight here some of our ad objectives that maybe you haven't come across before. So firstly, video shopping ads, and this is a great tool that maybe you have come across already. So video shopping ads are shoppable videos that fit seamlessly into your For You page. The video shopping ads delivered personalized recommendations based on the user's interactions. And as you can see here, it will come as a product pop-up, and we can integrate your catalog or TikTok shop so that the user can seamlessly just purchase the product or even just view the content and get a little bit more detail. So these are great and really merge, the product and the TikTok video all in one to kind of have more of a dynamic ad. And then Katie, if you just want to go on to lead generation as well. This is also a great tool, especially if there's any B2B companies online, or as I mentioned, maybe any in the educational space. This is great because we have the built-in integration, and then you can also add your CRM integrations as well to our ads manager platform. As you can see here, there's an in-app form. So for example, in the Vault ads that's being showcased, once you click on the call to action at the bottom, you're prompted to put in your email address, name, and then phone number. And then you can easily gather that data and maybe use it for a newsletter or to sign up to a certain event. This is great with autofill, and we actually get very high completion rates as well. Perfect. So Katie, do you want to go to the next slide there? I also wanted to just go through some interactive add-ons. So these are really great ways to kind of spice up your TikTok ads and the videos that you have. So these really help as well our conversion rates and to push those objectives that we have. So for example, countdown sticker, if you have any sales coming up or any large campaigns, the countdown timer is a great addition to the video. So what you can do here is put down, say it's in 24 hours time. It's great to build anticipation, and users can also click on the timer to set a reminder so that they can go back and visit your profile or the ad and take action. To increase engagement as well, we have a voting sticker. So this is kind of like a poll where you can ask a question and then have one or two options. And it's really great because it'll not only help the user to stop on the video, but actually to take an action as well, and think a little bit about what you are asking and the video that you're showing. Gift code sticker works really well, especially when we're looking at conversion campaigns. For example, you can have maybe 10% off a purchase and use the code TikTok10. When the user clicks onto the sticker, the gift code will be copied to their clipboard. And then once they click on the call to action to go to your website, they can seamlessly just pop in the gift code that they've copied. It really includes, it really increases our conversion rates, and we find that this works extremely well. And then, of course, we have display cards where you can put any promotions or just more information about the product as well. Perfect. So I will now pass you back to Louisa.
Thanks, Sarah. I just wanted to bring you guys' attention to the community group guide. So I believe I have a screenshot in the next slide. The community group guide is amazing for, so many reasons. You can see in my post there from this morning, I included the link to the webinar, just in case, it can get lost in your emails. Please refer back to the guide for the Q&A on Friday and then the webinar next Wednesday. And what I also love about this guide is that you can see a lot of people, I think it's Monique and a few people there were introducing themselves and introducing their business. like at the end of the day, we're all a community and a name is a name, but we actually want to know who you are. And especially on our side, like we want to know who you are and what your business is. And I'm sure you guys would like to know each other members of the community, what verticals they're in or what businesses they're in. So please make use of the community group guide. Community group. It's really amazing. Get to know each other, get to know us, we can get to know you. And also we'll have updates on our events for Friday and Wednesday. So definitely keep your eye on the group guide. And then the Q&A on Friday will be held by Katie and Sarah, who are absolutely amazing TikTok wizards. You can see on the next slide there, so we kind of get the same questions a lot in the webinar. So I've compiled a little list on some questions that we get asked normally, but emailed to you after this webinar, you guys will receive a Google form. So please fill out your name and your business just so we can all get to know each other. And then a question at the end. So if you have any questions about anything that was said today or any questions about TikTok, please submit them in the form and we can get that list updated. We can change that list so that we can cater to all your questions and get you guys as well informed on TikTok as possible. And do attend then the session on Friday because the girls will be absolutely amazing. And don't forget to submit your questions beforehand. And then one of the girls, I think it's Katie, isn't it?
I think this one's me, and
this
it's
one's
everyone's
me.
favorite time, homework. But yeah, so I hope everyone on the call has been listening very closely. So we have actually a TikTok, which I hope will play with the sound. I'm not sure, Katie.
I know, I don't know if it's going to play because again, I can hear it, but let's see, give me a thumbs up if you can. No.
Before I go, I pull my shirt on, walk out the door, drag my feet along the floor. I pull my shirt on, walk out the door, drag my feet along the floor. Then I see you walking across the campus to a professor studying romance.
I could hear it that time, but hopefully no one on this call has that reaction to the homework. There will be no test at the end of it, so don't worry. But rather than don't worry. Rather than homework, I guess it's even better to call it kind of a creative brief and a take-home next step strategy document. So we have two different documents here, which will be shared with you. And before our next webinar, it would be, or Q&A, maybe even if on Friday, it would be great if you could fill these out it's basically based on what we've discussed today. So in the creative brief, it will go through kind of the tips that we shared today and what you would write, either sharing it to an in-house or a team or a creator on what your ideal first TikTok ad would be. So we go through the hook, unique selling points, and the message and values that you want to get across as well to your customers. And then in terms of the strategy brief, this will go through what your goals are for the business, matching them as well to our ad solutions. So for example, if your aim is to build brand awareness, then a reach campaign would probably be best suited for you. And then also going through your target user profile. So maybe you might have two different target users. It might be reaching a younger demographic, say on TikTok, and then also reaching your continuous customers as well. So if you could fill out those two documents, I think you'll actually find them very useful, and it will set you up very well for launching your first ad in the coming weeks.
Okay, so I'm going to just wrap things up there. To just go back on the homework. I know homework is like a terrible word for it. I think Sarah was kind of right on that. Homework is like, whoa, shivers down your spine. It's really a really great place to start with your TikTok strategy. And even if you've already started, it's just really giving you the foundations to making sure that you're really thinking through what it is that you're trying to achieve on TikTok and how you're doing that. Because I think from all the businesses, and we can safely say at this point, it's thousands that we've worked with, and particularly in the UK. Sarah's probably talked to thousands herself. It's really important that when you're set up for success at the start, it just really helps you continue and to make sure that you're kind of always learning. So the creative brief is excellent. Now myself and Sarah will be available on Friday, 11 a.m. I'm pretty sure we will double check with Louisa's nodding. Pretty sure it's 11 a.m. If there's any changes, we'll let you know. But ultimately what we're going to do, we can go into a bit more detail on this, particularly if there's anyone that actually wants to come on the call and tell us about their business, and maybe we can all fill it out together, or you can send in a bit of information and myself and Sarah can kind of help go through it with you if there's any ideas and you don't really know where to start. I know someone had asked about service-based or B2B, which we do get asked about a lot as well. And then from an ad solutions, this really, really sets you up for next week, right? So at the end of this boot camp and the 2 sessions, you go away with something tangible and physical, and you can go, okay, I'm ready to start my TikTok advertising and strategy. I know exactly where I need to start. And we're going to show you how this all kind of comes together in the Ads Manager platform itself next week. So if your business goals is reaching new customers and ultimately driving sales, who your audience is and maybe what those ad solutions could be, we'll show you how you put that all together and ultimately start running those tests. So it's really, really great. As I said, we will run through these with you. We've plenty of time in the Q&A on Friday. If any businesses want to come and talk about their business, and we can kind of help talk you through what we think. We can pick a few examples. Please do. We'd be more than happy to do so. And it might give everyone else some inspiration there as well. But ultimately, what are you waiting for? And we are actually dying to know what's stopping you. So if it is something that you're comfortable telling us why you haven't really made the leap onto TikTok yet, or, you've made the first step by joining the boot camp and you need some more support, I think to flick back a few more slides as well, Louisa had in here, if you're really, really ready to get started and you want to talk to someone like Sarah immediately, please let us know and we can actually coordinate getting you in touch with a sales rep in the next week. And they can literally be like, hey, okay, those activities that we're going through, they can do that on a one-to-one call with you. So please use the link, sign up, and we'll make sure to get you connected with a rep. But as I said, we're here to help. This is what we do day in, day out. We've helped hundreds, if not thousands of businesses, even just across the 3 of us, and let alone what our teams do. But yes, really, really thanks everyone for joining. What we want to say is it's absolutely time to get set up. So please create your ads manager account. We have this included in the email afterwards because I know it's hard to remember websites, let alone everything else. And make sure your billing information is correct in there. If you have any issues, we can maybe touch briefly on it on Friday. But it's great so that whenever Sarah and I run through the in-depth TikTok demo and the ads manager next week, we'll be able to kind of guide you through all of this. So after that, you're able to go away and set up your first campaign. So we thank you very, very much. I think there's a couple more things coming in with the questions. Louisa, do we have the link ready for the Q&A that we could just put in the chat now? Yeah, we'll just give Louisa 2 seconds and she'll get that for you, Alex. It is going to come in the email afterwards, but if you're raring to go and ready, we'll get the link for you now. If there's any other additional questions, or Sarah, Louisa, is there any questions earlier in the chat you want to talk about? I know the creative tools, we got a couple of questions on those, or like whether they were free. Sarah, if you worked with any clients that are using that, and you've any, top tips for people to get started?
Yeah, the creative tools are really helpful, and especially if you're looking initially to repurpose assets. So say if you have any maybe from other platforms, and then also the Creative Center is great. You can have a look at what brands in your industry are doing and just take inspiration from them. And also, I suppose, as Louisa mentioned, the more candid, the better. So videos don't need a big production behind them, and just to really get started and test and learn, you might find that some videos will get lots of views, some maybe not so much, but don't be disheartened, because if you just stay consistent, you should see the results and hopefully go viral as well.
Absolutely. Louisa, the link, it's coming in the email today, isn't it?
It's coming in the email. I've just put it in the chat there. So if people want to, it's there.
Oh, super,
so people, yeah, brilliant.
Oh, great. And then Alex, if you put your name in, we'll coordinate behind the scenes to get a rep to reach out to you in the next week. So yeah, definitely do. And also let us know your questions, or again, if you have any feedback. But thank you everyone for joining and for your engagement throughout. And we're delighted to have you to kick things off, and we will absolutely see you on Friday. And next week, we're really going to bring everything together and show you how you do it. Yes, there will be a recording, so you can watch us again and again and spread the word with your colleagues. But yeah, thank you so much, and we will see everybody soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.